Where do most people start their lather? Question I've had for years. And every year, I'm like, oh, let me see if there's a Reddit post about this yet. Let me see if there's a forum talking about this. Nothing. I didn't see shit. And so I got to thinking, I'm like, I started testing out different lather. I'm like, what would most likely the most common lather start would be like the stomach or the chest. It's got good surface area for you to get your, foamy, suddy action going, to start the lather and, get the fucking soap shit, get that soap moving. And then I started testing different positions. Or not positions, but different starting points. And I kind of started with the thigh, and the thigh's kind of good. I got pretty beefy thighs, but I'm sitting here and I'm starting to lather. I'm like, okay, hold on, this kind of fire because you kind of get that leverage. Because like say you're standing up and you're just rubbing it on your stomach. There's really, I don't know how to explain it, but like you got your one leg up, on the tub ledge, right? And you just start going ham. So there's something, it might be the gravity, right? You're hunched, let's say you're hunched over and your arm is, kind of just hanging, right? Because if you're standing up, your shoulders can support. But if you're leaning over, you kind of lose that support and your arm's just kind of dangling, right? So if you, it's pretty easy because you start the lather and gravity's helping your arm go down, but you got that momentum, so it's not, the upstroke, let's say you're lathering in a circle, right? I'm doing all this while actually like actively rubbing my thigh to get in the zone. So if whether that's weird or not, it's for science. All right, on the downstroke, gravity, but on the upstroke, you got that momentum. So gravity doesn't even matter when you're on the upstroke of the lather. So you're going up, down, and you get into like a rhythm, and you got a decent lather, and then realistically, you put your two thighs together, and if you got balls, you kind of get a decent coverage of your thighs and your nuts. That's not to say neglect them, but it'll help do some of the work, right? It'll get some of that soap on your nuts, on your dick, on your other thigh, and then you just go from there. You just fucking wipe it down with the washcloth, and then the leg, kind of like with the thigh with gravity, but there's less of an area for like a circular stroke. So you kind of have to do like an oval stroke, and it takes a little more exertion, but it's honestly, it's got its own merits, because depending on how long your leg is, right? Your foreleg, I don't know, the one with the calf, right? Depending on how long that is, your downstroke's going to be longer, right? So you can go down, up, and if you get in a good enough, if you get in a good enough rhythm, you got yourself a good fucking lather going on. And if you have hair, the hair will help lather that shit up even more. And so I was like, okay, stomach is probably, default. That's probably the default animation that everyone does. But thigh is underrated. Leg is underrated. I tried my ass, but I got a big ass. And so, but ass is kind of tricky, because depending on how big or small your ass is, this could either go, like pretty mediocre to bad, to just being a completely inefficient lather spot. And so I tried, my first lather on my ass, and it was not nearly as good as the thigh or the stomach. But it was like comparable to the leg, but you have to like reach over, and it's just not efficient, right? It's just, it kind of fucking sucks having to reach over and, do the circular motion. Unless, I don't know, I haven't tried it, but if you just go up, straight, up, down, north, south, as opposed to doing a circular motion, that might be a little better. but I didn't like the ass. The ass is probably sitting at the bottom. Probably it's C tier. Gets the job done. I don't think there will be anything. I would say F tier would be your dick and balls or pussy. And the inner ass, your asshole, the inner ass cheeks, right? Because there's too many obstacles to cross. There's not enough flat surface area for you to really get in there and lather. So those would probably be like F tier, D tier. I think hair I would put in D tier only because the only reason it's not an F tier is because it's probably I'm not gonna go in with no normal soap in my hair, but it's probably fucking satisfying as fuck getting your hair fucking lathered up like that shit. This is just about soap, but with shampoo, like if we're talking shampoo, that's a easy S. It's satisfying. Shampoo is just you just get in there with your fucking claws, with your mitts, and you just going ham, fucking kneading bread, pretty much, with that shampoo, and you got yourself like a nice little, that's S tier, right? But if we're just talking about soap, hell no. Like pubes, right? F tier. Haven't tried it yet. I'm put that in the I don't know yet, but I will try. Feet, probably C tier. They'll get the job done, but hands, same deal. Arms are pretty good. Those are like a B. If I had to rank them, stomach is easy A. Thighs are an S. Thighs don't have the same amount of surface area as the stomach does, but it's something about it. The way that as when you finish lather, and if you get a good lather, you can kind of put your legs together and cover your nuts, your dick, your thighs. Might be bad if you're a woman because might fuck up with your pH, but thighs S for me. Legs are an A. They're good. I might even knock them down to B because they're so. If you weren't me, I have some hefty fucking legs, right? I have some hefty like calves. My calves are fucking beefed up. I have fucking toned legs, right? But if you don't have a lot of me, if you skinny, if you got skinny legs, I'll kind of put them to B because the stomach is versatile. Your thighs should be, good enough to get that. Like I said, it's got that gravity helping it. It's got decent, coverage of your other thigh and your other extremities in the middle. So thigh is still good. Stomach is, good, classic. And what the fuck am I talking about?